Hello, I am Stars of Sunday League, and you're listening to the Music is Power podcast.
Joining me here today in Music is Power podcast is the lead singer and actually the main man of Stars of Sunday League. Hello there.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well. I'm spring cleaning today.
Okay, and the first question for you is what's the story behind Stars of Sunday League and how your interest in music started?
I guess like loads of people, I suppose I would play guitar in my room and write little songs for years since I was about 16, 17. But I've only really played to real people, I guess, in the last 8 months or so, just in London, and just did the little open mic nights that you can play, and it slowly has kind of been building from there. Really, a few people saw me, and I've been lucky enough to play with lots of other great musicians, and it's just really happened from that. No one's kind of told me to stop yet, so I'll just keep going.
What is actually meaning Stars of Sunday League? How did you choose that?
Well, what happened was I played a couple of open mic nights, and a singer called Emmy the Great, who you might know, who I kind of play with. She was really nice, and she let me use her kind of bedroom little studio to record some really early demos, so I could put them on a MySpace. So we did that. But obviously, to get a MySpace, you need a name, and I didn't have a name. So I had a song that was called Stars of Sunday League. And I just decided, because I had to come up with a name on the spot, just to take the name of that song and make it my own name. So yeah, it worked quite well. I think it works quite well, actually, in that, I don't know if you know, but Sunday League in Britain is like the amateur leagues for lots of different sports, and it's just kind of, it's amateur level. It's not very good, but it all happens on a Sunday, and I quite like the inference, I guess, that my music is probably a little bit amateurish and lo-fi and rough around the edges. I think that it suits it quite well. So that's the story.
I didn't know that about the Sunday League, but now I know it, and I don't think you're amateur. I think you're very good.
Well, thank you.
And is Sunday your favorite day of the week?
No, it's not actually. No, I don't. I don't really like Sundays that much. I think you have to. Well, Sundays are fine if you're doing something busy, but I think Sunday afternoon can be quite melancholic and a little bit sad, and you start thinking about Monday, and yeah. So it's not. I haven't picked the name out of a particular affection for Sunday. I'm afraid.
Okay, and can I ask you a personal question actually? Because
Yeah.
it was bothering me from since the beginning. I know you. What is your relationship with Amy the Great?
What's my relationship with Emily Gray?
Yeah.
I play in her band, and I'm her friend, and that's about it, I'm afraid. She's very nice, but if you're hoping for some juicy gossip, I'm afraid there's none at all.
Okay.
Uh,
I was just thinking I will make something from this story, but
no, I'm afraid that would be complete fabrication on my part.
you don't have a girlfriend, right? Or you have?
No, I do. Yeah, I do. I have.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry about it then.
No, don't worry. I appreciate it would be a nice story, but no.
Yeah. Okay. And about you and your music, what do you consider yourself as a pop folk or just folk, or what kind of folk or what kind of music do you consider?
I don't know. Folk. I guess folk music. Just, I mean, I don't really know what folk music means, but I suppose I like songs where there's a story, or I like the way that folk music seems to tie up really big things, big important things, in little everyday stories and tales and things. And I guess I kind of try and do that a little bit. So I guess it's folk music. A lot of people talk about anti-folk. I don't really understand what anti-folk is, but I've been called that a lot, and I don't really think that I am. Yeah, I guess it would be folk music. I know that it's cool to say that, oh, your music is completely unclassifiable and I don't fit into any pigeonholes, but that's not true at all. So yeah, I guess I play folk music.
Well, it's the first time I hear about anti-folk music. Actually,
yeah, anti-folk it came out of New York. It was basically the bands like the Moldy Peaches and people like that. They couldn't get gigs in any of the normal folk clubs and folk pubs, so they started up their own night at a sidewalk cafe, which is run by a guy called Latch, I think, who puts out records. And so they got lots of people like Moldy Peaches and I think Regina Spektor, and people who didn't play traditional folk music were allowed to play there. But I think I think they had a really rigid idea of what folk music was, and if you didn't sing traditional songs, you didn't get to play. Whereas I don't think there's ever been that problem in London or in Britain, so anti-folk over here is a bit of a misnomer, I think.
That's a good story.
Yeah, well.
And about what do you think about indie music actually? Because this Music Spa podcast is like considering the playing indie music. What do you think about it?
I don't really know what indie music means. I like.
It's about independent, isn't it? Indie
well, yeah. I mean, then people would call, I don't know, like The Killers indie these days, I guess. And The Killers, got some good songs, but it's not independent music. I really like group Hefner and Ball Boy and those kind of people who had been on small labels and were making music that wasn't what was in the charts when they were around. I quite like that. I would say that's probably still indie music, but I don't think that just because music is on a little tiny label and is quite obscure, it doesn't make it any better than something that's really well recorded and put out by a big label. It doesn't make it, more worthy. So I wouldn't say I just like music because it's independent. I just like good music. I don't really care if it's on some shoestring label or if it's on EMI.
And do you consider yourself as an independent artist?
Well, I guess. I mean, I haven't really put any records out yet, so I'm not. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm independent yet, but yeah. I mean, I think if indie music just means people not chasing, radio play and just writing the kind of music that they're supposed to write, then that's great. And I guess I'd like to think that that's what I was doing as much as possible.
So you're fine with just the independence and not something like major going on the radio or TV?
Oh, if people want to play the songs on the radio and TV, that's fine. But I'm not hugely hung up about it. No.
And what about your album? As you said, you haven't released any yet.
No, well, I've only really been playing. Like I was saying, I've only really been playing for about 8 or 9 months, so it's very much early days. I still have not played a huge number of gigs, so there's a little record label called the Old Schoolhouse Records, who are putting out a compilation album later, in the next couple of months, I think, and I've got a song on that. But other than that, I guess I will try and record an EP maybe in the next couple of months, and then see if there's anyone interested in putting that out and take it from there. Really, I think it's probably important to play. You need to kind of play enough shows that enough people know who you are, so that when you release something, people actually know what it is, rather than, because it's so easy to put out music now, which is great, but I think you need to have maybe built up a little bit of support, or whatever the word is, before it's worth just firing out records and EPs and things like that. But it will happen at some point, I don't doubt.
And maybe one of the last questions is Maria wanted to ask you. about the Love and the Home thing, because we saw that in your MySpace profile you separate the Love and the Home, and
Oh yeah.
do you think they should be separated? Don't you think they should be together?
I'm trying to remember what I wrote now. Is that the little profile thing on my MySpace? God, what did yeah.
Yeah, you
I think I was just.
you should consider yourself when you are writing something in your MySpace profile, because it's public, you know.
I know, it's true. What did I say? Love and home. Can you combine the two? Is that the question? Yeah. Well, ideally.
Because you have separated them, and don't you think they should be combined?
They should be. That's true. But I guess that when, I don't know, maybe when things aren't going so well, then they don't converge as happily, and maybe you get lots of. Yeah, maybe that's interesting, and you can write about that. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at what I wrote, I'm afraid. But yeah, you're right. Ideally, the two are the same. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have a better answer. I should pay more attention to my MySpace page. Clearly, I promised to update it this afternoon and put something there that I actually remember writing.
Okay. So thank you very much about the interview, and I just remember that also Maria wanted to ask you if there a question that you wanted me to ask you and I haven't.
Is it a question that I wanted you to ask?
Yeah, is there something that you wanted to tell us, but no one asked you?
That's no, I don't think so. I just thanks for asking me to come on at all. I guess I don't know who listens to the podcast, but maybe if there's going to be quite a few interesting shows coming up lately, or soon rather. So if people want to check those out in the MySpace, that would be fun. But no, there's nothing. I don't have a burning desire to get anything off my chest. So no.
Okay, and do you think you will go on tour outside of the UK soon?
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, I haven't really been on tour myself yet. I've done tours with Emmy and things, but I've got a tour in May supporting a band called the New Amsterdams, who are very good. And yeah, maybe after that I'll try and get a few more support slots, and then maybe try and come to various other places and play little shows. It'd be lovely to play on the continent. So yeah, fingers crossed.
Okay.
Keep asking. The more people that ask, the more likely it is to happen. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for the interview. Really.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay. The first artist is The Verve.
The Verve.
Yeah.
That makes me think of school. We used to sing. I remember walking up, and we had these big, long, kind of booming corridors in school, and I remember walking down with 3 friends singing like that whole album all the way through, the Urban Hymns album.
Yeah.
In like the late 90s. I remember that. That's just popped into my head. So.
Okay. What about Kaiser Chiefs?
Yawn.
Okay. And Metric?
I don't know who Metric are.
Don't know.
This might be exposing my quite poor knowledge of popular music.
Yeah, I got you there. Okay, what about Yes?
Yeah, it's fun. I like them. I saw them play in Glasgow a couple of years ago. They were great.
And the Chemical Brothers?
Too cool for me. It makes me. I wish I liked them more. I don't think I'm cool enough or hip enough to have ever got into them hugely. So yeah, it makes me sad.
And what about The Cure?
Yeah, The Cure. I love that song, Boys Don't Cry, and I only found out it was by The Cure a wee while ago, and now they're on my bands that I need to get into. They're like a gaping hole in my musical knowledge, I think. So, yeah, ask me that question again in about 3 months and I'll be an expert on The Cure and I'll be able to give you a good answer.
Okay. And what about Amy the Great?
Oh yeah, good, massive, but such a diva.
And the last artist is Sunday Stars of Sunday League.
Stars of Sunday League. Who? Yeah, I think other people need to decide that one. It makes me think of how urgently I need to update my MySpace and put some new songs up there. That's what that makes me think.